everybody, it's Wootini from GayGamer.net here with another one of my weekly video podcasts. I am on vacation up in Massachusetts by the lake, and it is gorgeous. And while everyone in Manhattan is complaining about the heat on Facebook, I'm just jumping in the lake and being comfortable. So, but even though I'm on vacation, I still wanted to do a podcast because regardless of whatever games I'm playing, the most important thing, as you may have noticed if you read GayGamer.net, is that I finally got my hands on a Wii U. And it was great. I couldn't do it at E3, didn't go, so they luckily had a little press event in New York City that I was able to attend, and I was able to get my hands on a handful of games. They had a bunch of games on display, but I could only play a few of them because my time was limited, so I couldn't play every single thing. But I tried to play the ones that I figured you guys would be more interested in reading about, and I skipped over, Scribblenauts and Rayman, because whatever. And so you can read the article that I wrote about the Wii U itself, and then I'm going to do separate articles for each of the games that you can also read. But just in general, I have to admit that I was skeptical. The only thing that I had played were the tech demos 2 E3s ago, so I didn't know what exactly was going to come of this. That wasn't even the final gamepad. So to actually play an official final gamepad in my hands, I have to admit, I think Nintendo might have something here. It was a lot of fun. The various games use the gamepad in different ways, as far as the touch screen, and sometimes it's just a map, sometimes it's your inventory. Although sometimes, in the case of, say, Zombie U, they take advantage of the fact that it's convenient to have your inventory right on your touchscreen in front of you, but without pausing to go into your inventory, you can manipulate your inventory, but you're not pausing the game, and therefore you can get attacked. So you have to keep an eye out when you're rooting through and looting supplies off of dead victims or boxes or crates or whatever you're finding. You've also got to keep one eye kind of on the screen up above you on your TV to make sure there's nothing coming at you. The pad is actually surprisingly light and very comfortable to hold. In the entire Zombie U demo, I never felt like my hands were getting cramped or that this would be something that would be really uncomfortable to play with for a while. I'm sure after 6 hours you'll be sore, but that would be the same with any gamepad. But, you can't play Zombie U with the Pro controller that they're going to have that looks like an Xbox controller, because you need the touchscreen. Certain games will need the touchscreen. Just like certain games can actually be played on the touchscreen, like Wii Fit U or Super Mario Brothers 2 U, Super Mario Brothers U. Those can actually be played on the touchscreen away from the TV. So if somebody wants to watch a movie or a TV show or a ball game, you just press the button, switch it to your little screen, and you can just play over in the corner of your room. Mind you, it's very light because it's just the display. There's no processor. That's, I guess, in the system. So you are stuck with just, a slight range. You're tethered to the system. They didn't know exactly. They couldn't say specifically, the specs as far as how far away from the console you could get with the gamepad. But I'm guessing, maybe one room over. You're not going to be able to go in the backyard or down the street. You can't download games to the pad to play, which, is disappointing. I know some people were hoping that it would almost be a full-fledged tablet, but then that would also make it way more expensive. And obviously, in the interest of keeping the costs down, Nintendo just went this direction. Also, it makes it much lighter to hold for a long period of time. But it doesn't feel cheap. It feels light and easy to hold, but it doesn't feel like it's going to snap in half. And the touchscreen is really solid and very responsive, except for with Pikmin 3. I found trying to scroll around the map was a little bit not as responsive. But that's just a demo, so they'll fix that. But in general, I have to say I came away pretty impressed with the Wii U. I was a little skeptical. I didn't know. Everyone sort of said, oh, what's this motion control in this console called Wii? This sounds weird. And then everybody loved it, and then everybody else wanted to do motion controls. And now everybody's like, oh, what is this Wii U? And now there's a tablet? I don't know. And, but it's, I think they have something here. And now, Microsoft and Sony are all like, oh, you can use your tablets and your iPads and your iPhones that you already have with your games. And it's like, that just seems a little bit not, like it might not, I don't know. Like, I like Nintendo's has this is our pad and this is the system and they all have to work like this, and that's a good thing. I like that Sony and Microsoft is like, oh, well, you can use the pad you already own, but I don't know, there might be compatibility issues, or not everybody's going to want to add that kind of compatibility to their game. And also, they're not talking about using it for games yet, they're just talking about using it for apps. And I'm like, well, I don't want to, like, so I can have the internet on my screen and scroll around on my tablet. I just let me just use the internet on my tablet. But the games that I saw were a lot of fun. The graphics look really good. Granted, most of the games that I tried were like cartoony Wii-style Nintendo cartoony graphics, like Animal Crossing and Luigi's Mansion and such. So, and Pikmin. But the backgrounds in Pikmin look amazing. They're very realistic with like the cartoony characters and stuff. But everything's crisp, clean, HD, looks great, and Zombie U looks really impressive. Nice lighting. It's very spooky, very scary. It was very tense. I very much enjoyed that one. I'll write an article about that soon. But it's looking kind of fun. I expect to see it later this holiday season. That's all they're saying. Later this holiday season. In fact, they've got a lot more to talk about. They haven't really discussed this Miiverse thing that they have, where they're like, oh, you can interact with everybody socially on their Wii U's. Your friends and then everybody else in the world. And I'm like, oh. And they haven't really given a lot of detail about that. But I'm assuming it's going to work, with the traditional friend codes where, those are the people that you can exchange messages with, like on the 3DS, like you can with, like, SwapNote. Whereas, like, the other people that you don't actually know will work like Street Pass, where you'll be able to see all these people in the rest of the world and what they're playing on their consoles, but it'll be a very limited amount of information that you can get from them because you don't know them, and they won't be able to give you messages because Lord knows what people are going to be writing, because they're going to be writing horrible things, and it's going to be offensive, and parents aren't going to want their children to be seeing that. I know my friends are going to send offensive things. It's what they do. Although my friends are good. But some people aren't. So I'm still curious for more details on this Miiverse thing. But I'm very much looking forward to playing full-on games this holiday season. That's what they're saying. I'm going to go with, like, mid-November, like just before Thanksgiving for this. That's my guess. Because I feel like early December would maybe not be, that would be a little late to get all these great Christmas sales in. So I'm going to say mid-November, and I'm going to guess the price point's going to be about $299. Anything above $300 is going to be trouble. That's too much. It might maybe as low as $279, but I don't really think they can go much lower than that. Like $259 is going to be super cheap, and I'll be really surprised. I feel like it's going to be closer to $300. So mid-November, closer to $300. That's my guess. That's my prediction. And we'll see if I'm right. Until then, I'm going to go jump back in the lake. I'll see you next week. Bye.